My mother leaned in close at my grandfather's funeral. Her voice was a whisper, but the edge was sharp. Whatever he left you stays in the family. It goes through us. You owe us that much. I looked at her. Black dress. Perfect makeup. Hands folded like she was praying. She wasn't. Did she really think I'd hand over my grandfather's final gift? After everything? I had the will. The real one. And 3 hours earlier, the lawyer had pulled me aside with an envelope I wasn't supposed to see yet. Inside was a letter, handwritten. It started with 5 words. Let no one take this. So where are you watching from, and what time is it there? Drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button because you're going to want to see how this plays out. Because my mother had no idea what was coming. None of them did. Let me back up. I'm the oldest of 2 kids. My brother Jason was the golden child. I was the helper. At 14, I did laundry for the whole house while Jason played video games. At 16, I got my first job. My parents called it contributing to the household. Every paycheck, I handed over half. You live here, my dad said. You pay rent. Jason? He got an allowance. When he graduated high school, my parents threw him a party and paid for his state school tuition in full. When I graduated, my mom handed me a community college brochure. You'll figure it out, she said. I did. I worked nights. I took classes during the day, and my grandfather slipped me birthday cards with $50 bills inside and notes that said, "Save this. You'll need it." He never said much, but he saw me. When he got sick, I was the one who showed up. 6 months of hospice, 6 months of 3 a.m. calls and medication schedules, and sitting beside his bed when he couldn't sleep. My parents visited twice. Jason came once. Grandfather didn't complain. He just looked at me one night and said, "You're going to be fine." I made sure of it. I thought he meant emotionally. I was wrong. I kept everything. Every card. Every note. Every text from those final months. I didn't know I'd need them. But I did. After the funeral service, everyone gathered at my parents' house. There was coffee. There were casseroles. There was small talk. And then my mother cleared her throat. "We'll handle the estate properly," she said. Calm, casual, like she was discussing dinner plans. "Everything will go through us. As trustees." Jason smirked. "Yeah. And when are you chipping in for the funeral costs?" I blinked. "I paid for the flowers," I said. "We're talking about the service," my mother cut in. "The reception. We've covered a lot. It's time you helped carry the weight." My aunt nodded along. She had no idea. "The lawyer is reading the will in 2 days," my mother continued. "Before that, we'd like you to sign a family agreement. It just formalizes that we'll pool resources and divide everything fairly." She slid a paper across the table. "With us as trustees," she added. "We know what's best." I looked at the document. I didn't touch it. "I'll wait for the lawyer," I said. Her smile tightened. "If you embarrass this family," she said, "you'll regret it." Jason filmed the whole thing on his phone. "For transparency," he said. I stood up. I walked out. I had 48 hours, and I spent every single one of them going through my files. The next morning, I woke up to a group text. Jason had sent a photo. It was a handwritten note. Old, faded, grandfather's handwriting. "Family first, always." The caption read, "Grandpa's own words. Stop being selfish." My mother followed up. "He wanted us to stay together. You're trying to divide us." 20 minutes later, my aunt called. "Your mom says you're trying to cut everyone out of the will?" Her voice was worried, disappointed. "That's not what's happening," I said. "Then why won't you sign the agreement?" I didn't have an answer that wouldn't sound defensive. I hung up. By that afternoon, my parents had called half the family. The story was the same. I was greedy. I was ungrateful. I was dishonoring my grandfather's memory. I sat in my tiny apartment that night and stared at the wall. What if I was wrong? What if I'd imagined his promises? Misread his kindness? I almost didn't go to the will reading. But then I opened the folder. I read his last letter one more time. And I went, "I brought everything. The lawyer's office was cold, sterile. My parents arrived in matching black. Jason wore a suit. They looked coordinated, rehearsed. I wore jeans and a sweater. The lawyer didn't waste time. He opened the file and read. The estate was being divided 4 ways. My parents, Jason, and me. But my share was held in a separate trust. Independent trustee. No co-signers. No oversight from my parents. Dispersed directly to me. The room went silent. Then the lawyer read the attached letter. Grandfather's voice through his words. To my granddaughter, who gave me time when no one else would. Who listened. Who cared? This is yours. Let no one take it. My mother's face didn't move. Jason stared at his phone. My father cleared his throat but said nothing. The lawyer handed me a sealed envelope. This is private, he said. For you alone. My mother's smile was thin and tight. We'll discuss this at home, she said. I nodded. I didn't plan to go home. But the meeting wasn't over. Because my mother had brought papers of her own. She slid a document across the table. Older paper. 3 pages. You signed this 4 years ago, she said. I looked down. It was titled Family Care Agreement. And at the bottom, my signature. This states that you agree to reimburse us for years of financial support, my mother continued. Out of any inheritance or windfall. The lawyer leaned forward. Do you recall signing this? He asked me. I did. It was the night of grandfather's first stroke. We'd been in the hospital waiting room for 6 hours. My mother handed me a clipboard. Just a medical proxy form, honey, she'd said. So we can all make decisions together. I signed it. I didn't read it. The lawyer took the document. He scanned it quietly. Jason was recording again. His phone was angled at me. He posted it to the family group chat in real time. My mother folded her hands. We're asking for 50% of your share, she said, to settle debts. It's only fair. The lawyer called a recess. 10 minutes. I walked outside. My parents were waiting by my car. My father spoke for the first time. Get in the car. We're going to talk like adults. I didn't get in the car. I walked back into the office and asked the lawyer for 5 more minutes. I pulled out my phone. I opened my banking app. I pulled up 7 years of transfers. $1,800. Every month. Labeled Rent Mom, 84 payments. Total, $151,200. I handed the phone to the lawyer. Then I opened my photos, screenshots, Venmo requests from my mother during grandfather's final months. Groceries for Dad, $60. Hospice copay, $240. Prescription refill, $85. I'd paid every single one, and then I showed him the dates. Cross-referenced with Instagram. My parents were on a cruise the week I paid the hospice bill. The lawyer examined the family care agreement again. He looked up. This document has no witness signature, he said. It was never notarized. It is not enforceable. My mother's jaw tightened. Jason stopped recording. The lawyer asked for 24 hours to review everything. We'd reconvene tomorrow. I left. That night, Jason called me. His voice was shaking, and he told me the real reason they needed the money. They owe money, Jason said. His voice was quieter than I'd ever heard it. How much? I asked. $190,000. Home equity loan. I didn't say anything. It was for my MBA, he said. And the kitchen remodel. And Dad's friend's business thing that went under. When's it due? Next year. He took a breath. They were counting on Grandpa's estate to clear it. When your trust locked your share, they panicked. I still didn't speak. Mom already told everyone she was managing the whole thing, he said. If she can't control it, she loses face. You know how she is. I did. They promised me a car if I helped, Jason added. I'm sorry. Are you? I asked. Silence. Just meet them halfway, he said finally. Please, they're my parents too. They're mine too, I said. But somewhere along the way, I'd stopped being their daughter. I'd become a line item, a resource. I thanked him for telling me. Then I hung up. And I called the lawyer. I made a decision. I was done negotiating. The next morning, I called the lawyer before the meeting. Proceed with the trust exactly as written, I said. No modifications. No settlement. Understood. If they contact extended family with false claims, send a cease and desist. Noted. I opened a new bank account that afternoon. Separate, clean. The moment the inheritance cleared, it would go there. Then I wrote one email. To my parents. To Jason. I CC'd the lawyer. It was 3 sentences. I will honor grandfather's wishes. I will not negotiate my inheritance. If you continue to harass me, I will pursue legal remedies. I read it twice. Then I sent it. I blocked their numbers. All 3 of them. My phone felt lighter. The silence felt strange. But I didn't break it. 8 days later, the money hit my account. $163,000. I stared at the number for a long time. Then I went to work. And the next morning, my mother showed up. She walked into my office. I work at a small accounting firm. 4 desks, quiet, not anymore. I need to speak with you, she said. Her voice was loud, shaking. I stood up. Let's use the conference room, I said. She followed me in. So did my aunt. And a family friend I barely recognized. Witnesses, my mother said. I closed the door. She didn't sit. We're filing a lawsuit, she said. For elder abuse and undue influence. You isolated him. You coerced that will. My aunt looked uncomfortable but said nothing. I opened my laptop. I connected it to the conference room screen via HDMI. The projector lit up. Okay, I said. I pulled up the first document. Hospice visitor log. 18 months. My name, 289 visits. My parents 11. Jason, 4. The room went quiet. I pulled up the second document. A signed letter from grandfather's own lawyer. Dated 6 months before he died. It stated, in clear language, that my grandfather was of sound mind, acting independently and under no undue influence. Notarized. My mother started to speak. I pulled up the third document. A text thread between her and Jason, 2 days after grandfather's diagnosis. Jason's message, if we push now, she won't fight. She never does. My mother's reply, agreed. We'll need at least half to clear the house. My aunt's face went pale. The family friend stood up and left without a word. My mother's hands were shaking. You can't. I can, I said. And I will. If you file anything, I'll submit all of this. Plus the fraudulent care agreement. Plus the financial exploitation. She stared at me. Then she tried to cry. We're your parents. Then act like it, I said. I walked to the door and opened it. You can leave, I said. Or I'll call security. She left. That afternoon, the lawyer emailed. My parents had withdrawn all claims. It was over. 6 months later, I heard through my aunt that my parents sold the house. They downsized to a condo. My dad took on contract work. My mother went back to nursing part-time. They paid off the loan themselves. No bankruptcy. No disaster. Just a smaller, quieter life. Jason sent me an apology email. I read it. I didn't reply. Not out of spite. But because I needed the boundary. Forgiveness doesn't require reconnection. I used part of the inheritance for a down payment on my own place. A small condo. Nothing fancy. I set up an emergency fund. 6 months of expenses, like the financial advisors say. And I donated $10,000 to the hospice in grandfather's name. They put a plaque in the garden. It reads, "In memory of a man who gave his time freely." I visited it last week. I brought the final letter. The one the lawyer gave me at the first meeting. I'd only skimmed it before. This time I read the whole thing. He talked about his life, his regrets, his pride in me, and at the very end he wrote this: "You don't owe anyone your peace. Keep it." I cried for the first time since the funeral. Not sad tears, grateful ones. I started therapy a month after everything settled. I learned that protecting yourself isn't betrayal. I learned that no is a full sentence. And I learned that family should build you up, not drain you. If they can't do that, you're allowed to step back. You're allowed to choose yourself. My parents and I don't speak. Maybe one day we will, maybe we won't. Either way, I'm okay. I honored my grandfather's wishes. I set boundaries. And I kept my peace. That's enough. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to choose between family loyalty and self-respect? What would you have done in my position? Let me know in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. There's more to come. One last thing. This story is a fictionalized dramatization for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not legal, financial, or therapeutic advice. If you're facing a similar situation, consult with licensed professionals who can guide you. Thank you for listening. And remember, you don't owe anyone your peace.